Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Okay, welcome back to Combat Sports UK. We're just a few short weeks out from Bellator Dublin now. I'm joined by one of the stars of the show, Brett Johns. Brett, how are you feeling going into the fight now?
Yeah, obviously it's been quite a long camp. We've known for a while that we've been on this show. Circumstances have changed, quite dramatically, actually, to change of opponent and so on. So, yeah, I'm left a little bit frustrated, but, it is what it is, and just excited to get in there and fight in front of the Irish crowd.
And you just mentioned, obviously, the change of opponents. It was James Gallagher meant to be coming in. Obviously, he's dropped out. Would you be interested in revisiting that fight with him further down the line?
It's the next fight. I don't want to settle for anything less. I don't want to be like, oh, we're not looking. I'd be lying if I said I'm looking towards any other fights. The Gallagher fight was the one we wanted, the one we got. And now, obviously, unfortunately, there's been a bit of a pullout, and as if we're going to forget about it. And unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. I want that fight. I want that fight desperately. So I'm going to make sure that we get that fight after this one. We'll have to see what the Bellator staff have to say first of all. But yeah, that's definitely the fight I want next anyway.
And like we say, you were meant to be fighting him in Dublin. Obviously, you'd have the home field advantage. Would fighting him there again, or is it just getting that fight underway eventually? Does the location not matter at all to you?
To be honest, the fact that it was in the 3 Arena, it excited me, really. As a fighter, I think it's important to experience all sorts of experiences, you know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky enough in this career to have fought at an extremely high level. I fought in front of tens of thousands of people in the Staples Center in LA, and I've also fought in little tiny pubs in my local town. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Would I like to do it back in the 3 Arena? Yeah, the venue now, I would have liked to have done in the 3 Arena, but I'm eager just to get that fight sorted. So it doesn't matter where it is. On that front door, I think Bellator have a great opportunity to bring the show to Wales at some point. I know PFL had come there a few weeks ago, but I genuinely believe that they didn't have the right people to sort of main event that show, or put the right fight in place for people to turn up. Like, don't get me wrong, having a card with Rory McDonald on it, and there were some really good Welsh fighters on there. But them Welsh fighters are up and comers in the game and trying to make a name for themselves. But I feel like if we're able to get a fight, I think me and James Gallagher to headline a show in Wales would definitely get the people there. On a personal level, I know that Swansea has opened its new arena, which I think Bellator could definitely sell out 100%. But it's just waiting on them guys to make that official decision and come to Wales. And look, at the end of the day, I think to be a Welsh fighter and to be on a major promotion is an honour in itself. But to be a main event on a major promotion, to be on a poster, to be in your hometown, would be absolutely huge for me. Like I said, I've experienced a lot of different things in my career. I've won 2 world titles with other promotions, and I just feel like I've done everything that I personally wanted to set out and do in this game. I have done, and now it's just doing the little tiny things to tick off the bucket list. And I definitely feel like that headlining a Bellator show would be a dream come true. But to headline a Bellator show in Wales would be the goal for me.
And obviously getting the win in the upcoming fight is just pushing yourself further and further along. You're going to be taking on Jordan Winski. It's now confirmed. So the first thing I've got to ask you about him is, what do you think of his nickname? Have you seen it? Jordan, I'm gonna Winski.
Yeah, it's well, put it this way, it's a better nickname than my nickname. So, but no, it's like I said, I'm very grateful that Jordan has stepped in. I do think like this is probably one of the first interviews that I've done where the guy asking the questions has actually acknowledged that I'm fighting Jordan Winski. I think people want to talk about the James Gallagher situation, but to me, although I'm looking at the James Gallagher fight next, I'd be very, very naive if I wasn't carefully thinking about Jordan Winski. 12-3 record, and fought against some really good guys, and look, I'll be honest with you, I do believe that I'm better than Jordan in most areas. But that's not to say that he can't win this fight. Any fighter on any given night can win a fight. But with Jordan in particular, got a very awkward style, very, very awkward style. And, in the past, I think I've experienced similar sort of styles like Jordan and kind of struggled in them fights. So, we're not naive. It's not a fight that we're going in there and thinking it's going to be, a quick knockout or whatever. We're going in there with a full expectation that it's going to be a 3-5 minute tough fight, because he is a tough guy, all fairness to him. But yeah, we're excited. I'd be honest with you, I'm probably slightly more nervous about fighting Jordan than I was fighting James. I feel like Jordan is a tricky customer, dangerous character, and can finish fights. We've seen that from his previous fights. We haven't really watched much footage on him. I've struggled to really find much footage on him. But from the fights I have seen, it's going to be a tough fight. But we're excited to go in there and test us of our skill set. At the end of the day, it's another fight, and this is exactly what we wanted. I want my career to have at least 30 professional fights. So it's just another number, and we'll go from there.
And you've already mentioned his awkward fight style. I've looked up everything about him. I can see that he's fought. Some of the guys he's fought are now doing well in the UFC. So he's obviously got the experience, like you've already said. But when he's looking at fighting you, what do you expect him to come in and try and do? What's his game plan? Are you expecting?
At the end of the day, when it comes to improving my own personal game, I look back through my previous fights and see what I do bad, what I do good. And with Jordan, I think obviously I watched one fight back in 2019 where I think, in my opinion, obviously I haven't felt his strength because I haven't been in there with him, but he does look like he's got that wiry strength. He's a taller fighter for the weight, which in theory means he's a skinnier fighter for the weight. But I feel like he'll be quite strong. I've seen him hold some guys against the fence, and I've seen him struggle. So, and you can look back at some fights, and the elephant in the room for me is the Danny Sabatello fight, which I study a lot myself, and I think maybe he's looking to take it there. Maybe he sees something in the striking that he doesn't like with my style, and maybe he wants to sort of nullify that. But if I'm completely honest, you got to look at a fight with me and see that I'm reasonably good in most areas. And at the end of the day, I think he's coming just like any other fight he's had before. He's just coming to bring the pain, bring the noise, and hopefully silence that crowd, because we're taking a good few numbers over from Wales. I think at the top of my head, maybe 200 to 300 fans from Wales. And I'm thinking he's going to go in there and try and silence the crowd, and I'm looking to stop that, really.
And I've seen a few exchanges online, and obviously whatever happens September 23rd, I'm assuming we can expect to see before the end of the year as well.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I want to fight as often as I can. Like I said previously, I want to be over 30 fights as a professional mixed martial artist. I think this is maybe my 22nd. It's my 22nd professional fight. I want to hit over 30 fights. I don't know how long I got left in the game. You know what I mean? And at the minute, I've hit 30, and all of a sudden now I just feel like I'm getting a lot older than what I actually am. So I want to try and get these fights in. I had my wedding back in June, got married to my wife, and been with her for 10 years. So I feel like that kind of, maybe put the span in the works. I could have potentially had 4 fights this year, but I'm definitely looking to get another one in December. I want to take a week off. I think we have the fight on the Friday, and Saturday, me and my wife are getting the flight out of Dublin straight to Venice, so I can spend some time in Italy after the fight. And then when we get back, we're looking to get back in the camp, because there's a lot of guys in the team in SMMA who were looking to get fights around about that time as well. I think Jack might be fighting Kyler Phillips November time. And I like being in camp with Jack. We push each other really well in camp. So that's sort of what I want to do next, is try and get a quick holiday in after the fight and get back into the swing of things. Because what I've realised is now is the longer I spend out of these camps, the harder I find it to get into the camps again. So I don't really want to be too far away from the actual sport itself. So I'll take the week off, enjoy myself a little bit, might go watch the football, have a nice couple of cans or two, and then we'll get back to it the following Monday. But no, we're excited. We're excited to see what the future holds. Depending on how bad, James's injury is, whatever that may be, because I don't have a clue what he's injured. December would be a good date for me, you know. I would have liked to have fought on the Italian card because obviously Italy, I don't know, Italy's got a thing. I love Italy. I love Italian clothes, love Italian food. That would be quite cool if they ever go back there. I'd be interested to be on a card there. But if it comes to December, look, they're trying to Bellator in the middle of sorting my visa, so America will do fine. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not alien to America, and I enjoy fighting out in the States. So, look, whoever it may be, but I do want Gallagher after this one. Obviously, we've got to go in there, put a good display, put a good performance against Jordan Winski and get the win. That's goal number one and the most important goal. Goal number two is to get that fight with James Gallagher, you know, preferably for the December or this year. And we'll see what happens.
And you've already mentioned the guys at the gym. It seems like over the last year, it seems like everyone's talking about Shaw MMA, and like you look, even the younger guys like Rowan, Yohan, Levi, everyone is like growing massively over this past year. What is it that this gym has that like other ones don't? Because it seems like this past year, it's just all gone up. Do you know what I mean?
You know, the thing is with our gym is whether we win, whether we lose, we're all in it together. And to have a gym mentality like that is really, really, really hard to find, you know, where it's like more of a family community. We want to see everybody do well. You know, at the end of the day, if we can have 100 fights, we want 100 wins. That's what we want, you know, and for some reason something doesn't happen and we don't get that win, well, then we lose as a team as well, you know. And look, I can't go any further without actually thanking the coaches at Show MMA because they're the guys who keep us all in the straight and narrow. Richard Shaw, Carl Parker, Heem, you know, all the guys there. On a personal thing with me as well, you got Darren Wilson, who's my boxing coach. Look, we got so many guys there, so many guys and so many coaches who push these boys in the right direction to get them into fight shape and ready to go. It's you know, it's a really big honor to fight with them guys in my corner. You know, I got them two. I got my brother as well, who will probably be out in Dublin. We're in the middle of looking out to try and get Darren Wilson out there as well. But yeah, we're looking forward to it, and I'm very thankful because without Show MMA, I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now. So I'm very grateful to the team there.
For sure. And the last one I've got for you, Brett. Obviously, in May, you were scheduled to have Brett John's fight night, and obviously a few things went wrong. I'm just curious, is that going to be an event that we're going to see further down the line now?
Yeah. So obviously after the initial pull out with venues. Look, when it comes to pullouts of fighters, I get that happens with shows, you know what I mean? So that didn't frustrate me as such, you know, I wasn't getting too stressed. I did have a good fight card together. Obviously, getting close to the event, you start to see a couple of pullouts here and there. And there's a lot of competition in Wales when it comes to shows, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I'm not looking to be, you know, a Cage Warriors or a UFC in Wales. I'm just looking to do this as a promotion to kind of help fighters kind of build their records, you know. I'm in no the only person in competition is with myself. I'm just trying to prove that I can do this. It did deflate me, and I know that might sound like an over exaggeration, but it really did. I put all my eggs in that basket. Me and my brother Ashley really did work really well with that show. One of my sponsors, Rob and Guy, also chipped in and helped out, and to have two venues pull out new was quite tough. And look, at the end of the day, I'm a guy who's built my reputation in the game, and to let coaches down last minute was I don't want to do it again. So I feel a little bit probably reserved about doing the show. But in the same breath, I bought a lot of stuff for the actual initial show. I've got a couple of belts there that need to be given out. So yeah, in the future, whether it's going to be this year or whether early next year, I have got to try and juggle it with fights as well. So but yeah, we're looking to probably get something on. I'd love to get a lot of amateurs on that card. You know, the likes of like Rowan Crocker again. There's a few fighters I'd like to get on. Rowan Crocker, Johan, a couple of guys from Abertillery, a couple of guys from all over, Swansea, you know, Newport, and even the guys from North Wales, because there was a team up there, North Wales Fighter Academy. I think Danny Dixon, the coach up there, who's an active fighter himself. He had two fighters who were coming down. These are the guys I want to try and get in. Dave Matthews, Paul Reed, good coaches. You know, I want to get everybody back involved, but I've got to kind of sit down and have a chat and have a really good think about it. Try and get a venue set in place. The first thing I do, because I learned the hard way. You know, West Wales in general, I don't think has a very good understanding of the mixed martial arts sport. I think, like I said, you've got Newport, Cardiff, you know, South Wales, Swansea in general, who have good representatives, and MMA is well known. even in North Wales, you've got the likes of like Aaron Abbey, Bobby Pallett, Azza Thomas, a lot of guys up there who have created a job in the sport and are well recognised names in Welsh MMA. But in West Wales, I think it struggles, you know. And I'm trying to bring a show to West Wales to show the people of West Wales that we have got good fighters here. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to see it happen. So, you know, obviously, I was left really frustrated because I wanted to prove to myself, to prove to the people I wanted to help these local amateur fighters who have really suffered through COVID. And unfortunately, the venues didn't work out. But it's definitely something I'm thinking about. But when it puts an actual date, I don't know yet. Maybe later on this year, depending if we can get that fight in December or maybe early next year. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I've got to get rid of them belts. They're sitting in the gym collecting dust. So it'd be nice to give a couple of them out.
Perfect, Brett. That's all the questions I have. So Brett's taking on Jordan Winski at Bellator Dublin, September 23rd, flying the Welsh flag. Brett, appreciate you talking to me. That's us at Combat Sports UK. All the news and the latest on the event will be right here. Cheers, Brett.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good one.
Cheers.